Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Horticulture and Homes. I wanted to address a question that I had about the last video that I put up with the home canned goods. And someone asked me about my chicken pot pie mix because they didn't see a recipe for it or a video about it on the site. And I haven't made a video, but maybe that's something I should do in the future the next time I go to make it. So I wanted to talk about that just a little bit for a few minutes. And what I did in order to come up with a product that I knew was safe is I took the chicken a la king recipe from the Ball Blue Book. And then I just altered that recipe just a little bit by adding some garlic and peas, and I changed the seasonings a little bit. And in this particular batch that I made, I forgot to add the peas. But anyway, typically I would add some peas to that. And this particular recipe uses flour as the thickening agent. And you have to be careful about thickening agents when you're canning and freezing. The reason for that being is that most thickening agents do not hold up under those types of temperatures. This recipe uses flour, but it doesn't use a great deal of flour, and it holds up pretty well. The problem with flour is that over time, I guess the shelf life is basically reduced when you use flour as a thickening agent. And what can happen is that the flour will begin to kind of clump up and degrade in the jar. So when I make this, this isn't something I carry over from year to year. It's something I make up and I use it within the first 6 months to a year that I make it. Now, there are other thickening agents that you can use. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute too. Now, you can also add some chopped potato to this mix, and it would be pretty good. However, I'm not wild about the texture and the flavor of a canned potato. So I add my potatoes. I just use a fresh potato and chop that up and add it right before I put this in the oven. Now, you'll notice when I go to, you can see that this is thick. It's kind of like a gravy, but it's not really thick enough to make pot pie. It would really need to be thicker for pot pie. So when I use this, I do not use it with a bottom pie crust. I pour it into my pan, and then I put a top crust on it, and I put enough several holes in the top to vent, and that venting also allows for this to thicken as it cooks, as that the vapor escapes and thickens the product a little bit as it bakes also. Now, adding potato would make a thicker product, and that would be fine too. So, that's something that can be done, but you have to look at your processing times when you do that. Now, when I use this recipe from the Ball Blue Book, I do process longer because I'm adding more chopped vegetables to the end product than what the recipe calls for, which means I have a denser product. Since I have a denser product and there are more vegetables in here, I will process this longer because it just takes longer for everything in the jar to reach that whatever 212 degree temperature to be safe. So I actually process this for 90 minutes instead of 70 minutes under pressure. And the way I came up with the 90 minutes is that I went to the Big Ball canning book, and I looked at the beef stew and the chicken soups and all those things, and for the types of vegetables and things that I had in here, 90 minutes was an appropriate time. 4 quart jars. Okay, now let's talk about when you add and change the recipe a little bit. If you change a vegetable, or say you come up with, say you can mix vegetables for a soup base. Well, you have to look at the canning time for each of those vegetables individually and pull out the longest canning time, and that's what you process for, is for whatever takes the longest to process. Okay, now, there is a product on the market that is kind of difficult to find. It's easy to find on the internet, but by the time you pay shipping for it, it's pretty expensive, and to me it's just not cost effective to use. But I was able to find some within a few hours of where I live, and it's someplace that I go a couple times a year, so now I have access to it. And what I picked up was something that's called Thermflo. And this is a modified cornstarch from a very waxy maize of waxy corn. And it's used in pretty much all your commercial foods, your commercial pie fillings. It's used in frozen products and canned goods as a thickening agent, and it holds up very, very well to the heat and to the freezing and thawing. So if you can get a hold of this product, it would be good to use, and you use it according to the label directions, which tends to be a 1/4 cup per quart of liquid in your recipe, and it really doesn't change your processing time. Now you can actually go online and pull up the label for the product and read a little bit about it if you want to. But this particular product works with high and low pH foods, and like I said, it holds up very well to the heat and the freezing. And this is what's used in many, many, many commercial products. So it looks like cornstarch. It's just very, very fine. And it's got a little bit different texture, but it's very, very much like your typical cornstarch. But it's different, and will hold up to those temperatures where your traditional cornstarch doesn't hold up. Now, this typically runs about $2.50 a pound. When you buy it, you can purchase it via the 50-pound bag or by 1-pound increments usually, and there are many sites on the internet where you can find this product. Now, you know, like I said, shipping can be pretty expensive, so if you're trying to find it locally, I think the place that I always see this and is usually at an Amish grocery store or a Mennonite store, those types of places. If you can get to Amish country, then you know, check out some of those little groceries and see if you can find the product. Now there is another product on the market that is let's see, it's called Clearjel. There we go. Now Clearjel is, I think, is a little bit easier to find than the Thermflo, but they're basically the same product. I think they might be manufactured by two different companies, and that's why they have the different name. But they're both the modified starch from a waxy corn. So you can use Thermflo or Clearjel. Now there is a Clearjel for cooking, and then there is a Clearjel to use as an instant product where you would use it in non-cooked foods. So if you come across the Clearjel, you have to make sure that you get the proper one. You don't want the instant Clearjel. You want the one that you can use for cooking and canning. Now, make sure that you do not use Clearjel. Some people confuse the two. Clearjel and Clearjel are not the same product. Clearjel is a fruit pectin, and you do not want to use that. It's not a thickener for this type of an application. So you want to look for Thermflo or Clearjel, and I will put this information here in the video so that you can look for it, and if I can find a few sites, I'll place a few links in the description box also, so that you can read about this product, or at least have an access of where you can purchase it. I've never purchased it online, so I can't tell you about any of the companies that carry it. Now, I'm going to be using this product the next time that I make my my pot pie filling, because I'll be able to thicken it a little more than this, and I know that it's a product that will work well, and I know that it's going to be more shelf stable than using this flour. So I hope that answers questions and clears things up for people. If you have any more comments or questions, feel free to leave those, and I'll try and help you out if I can.